The house was dark, save for a single lamp casting a soft, yellow glow across the living room. My parents sat on the couch, their faces drawn. Zachary, my identical twin brother, stood by the window, his shoulders hunched, eyes fixed on his phone. Jillian, his wife, was conspicuously absent. I'd walked in at 6 o'clock, the drive from work feeling interminable, possibilities of illness or financial ruin churning in my mind. Nothing had prepared me for the actual truth. My father wasted no time. Zachary had been accused of sexual assault by a 23-year-old woman at his office. A police report filed 3 days prior. HR notified. Corporate lawyers involved. Her own attorney already retained. I stood, processing the words, a cold knot forming in my stomach. "Did you do it?" I asked, my gaze sweeping to Zachary, who couldn't meet my eyes. My mother's tears began to fall immediately, a rush of sound and accusation about misunderstandings, money-hungry women, false claims. My father cut her off, his voice firm. "We need to discuss options. As a family. Strategically." Every instinct screamed at me to turn and leave, but I didn't. I stayed, clinging to the slim hope that there was a reasonable explanation, some clarity to be found. Zachary finally spoke, his voice thin and defensive. He described working late with Riley, the woman accusing him, on a quarterly report. It was a Friday night, around 8 p.m. Everyone else had gone home. The office was quiet, just the low hum of HVAC and the click of laptops. 3 hours they'd worked. He'd ordered Chinese food. The conversation, he claimed, had drifted from work to personal. She'd laughed at his jokes. He'd thought she was interested. He admitted to making advances, trying to kiss her, placing his hand on her thigh, telling her she was attractive. But, he swore, when she said no, he stopped. She pushed him away, and he backed off. A misunderstanding. A misread signal. "Did you force yourself on her? Did you assault her?" The words were out before I could stop them. Zachary hesitated. A beat, then two. His eyes flicked to my parents, then back to his phone. That brief, telling pause was all I needed. My mother quickly intervened, "None of that matters right now. The details are irrelevant. What matters is protecting the family. Protecting Zachary's kids." The way she said his kids graded, like they were props in some drama, not actual children. Then my father began his pitch. He leaned forward, hands clasped, voice steady, reasonable, as if closing a business deal. "We need to think strategically. Zachary has 3 children depending on him. Jillian doesn't work. They have a mortgage, school tuition. If Zachary goes to prison, that entire family collapses." My mother nodded, a frantic agreement. "We just need to create some doubt. Make it less clear-cut. That's all." I watched them, the scene unfolding in slow motion. "What are you asking me to do?" My father exchanged a glance with my mother before turning back to me. "We're asking you to help your brother. To say you were there that night. That you saw what happened? That maybe things weren't as clear as this woman is claiming." The words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. I let them sit, the silence thick, for what felt like an eternity. "You want me to lie to the police?" "We want you to provide context," my mother interjected, her voice sharp. "Help show that Zachary isn't a predator, that this was a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion." My father's expression hardened. "Fine. If that's not enough, then you take his place. You go in, you tell them it was you." He continued, the logic chillingly detached. "You don't have the same responsibility Zachary does. He has a wife and kids. You don't. Your job is just a job. If the worst happens, and there are consequences, you can recover. Zachary can't. His kids can't. I stood up, the chair scraping loudly against the floor. I wasn't there that night. I'm not lying to police about a sexual assault. My mother's voice rose, shrill. We're not asking you to lie. Just to help create reasonable doubt, to show that Zachary isn't the person this woman is making him out to be. By saying I was somewhere I wasn't? That's lying. My father's jaw clenched. We're asking you to think about what's best for this family. For those 3 children who need their father. Then Zachary should have thought about that before he assaulted someone. The room went silent, cold. My mother stopped crying. My father's jaw tightened further. Zachary finally looked up from his phone, his eyes wide. It wasn't like that. I didn't assault anyone. This is a misunderstanding, and you're acting like I'm some kind of monster. Did you touch her without permission? I misread signals. That's not a crime. Actually, it is. And now you want me to help you get away with it? My father rose, his voice still controlled but laced with an undeniable edge. Family protects family. We're trying to protect this family. You walking away means you're choosing a stranger over your own brother. I'm choosing not to commit a crime for him. My mother grabbed my arm, her fingers digging in. Please, just think about it. Sleep on it. We can talk more tomorrow when everyone's calmer. I pulled my arm away. There's nothing to think about. I'm not doing this. As I headed for the door, my father's voice, colder now, followed me. If you walk out now, don't expect us to just let this go. Zachary needs help. This family needs help. You refusing to be part of that solution says everything about who you are. I stopped at the threshold, turning back. What exactly does it say? That you care more about yourself than your own family. I left without another word. The next morning, my phone was a relentless torrent. Texts from my mother starting at 6:47 a.m., pleading, desperate. Zachary's lawyer saying the case was strong against him without my context. My mother's accusations about the children growing up fatherless. Texts from Zachary about his life falling apart. Jillian texting about the kids' confusion. My father's voicemail, full of lectures about loyalty and what was right. My mother's tearful calls about my selfishness. I ignored it all. Jillian's number blocked. Voicemails deleted mid-sentence. Work remained my sanctuary. That evening, my father tried my office line. The receptionist, bless her, transferred him. We need to talk about this rationally, he began, without even a greeting. You're making an emotional decision based on principle instead of thinking about the practical reality. Zachary's lawyer says. I hung up. His number blocked from the office system. Later, around 8 p.m., my mother appeared at my building. The front desk called up. I instructed them I wasn't taking visitors. She waited in the lobby for 40 minutes before security asked her to leave. The next morning, the older security guard, a man who'd seen enough drama in his 6 years, gave me a knowing look. She'd been crying, trying to manipulate her way past policy, muttering about ungrateful children as she left. Day 2 was worse. More desperate texts from my mother. A lengthy message from Zachary about selling the house, pulling kids from school, destroying lives for a moral high ground. My father, using LinkedIn, called my supervisor. My boss called me into his office at 3 p.m., his expression a mix of confusion and concern. Your father called, he began, said there's a family emergency and he's concerned about your mental state. Asked if you've been acting unusual lately. My jaw clenched. There's no emergency. My family is trying to involve me in a legal situation I want no part of. My boss, a veteran of corporate dysfunction, nodded slowly. He told me to take whatever time I needed but warned that personal drama needed to stay off company property. Fair enough. That evening, 2 police officers appeared at my door. A wellness check. My mother had called, claiming I might hurt myself, that I was erratic. I calmly explained the family disagreement, the inappropriate escalation. I showed them my ID, demonstrated my coherence. They noted it and left, but the message was clear: my parents were showing me what they were capable of. Day 3. My mother called from a new number. I answered by accident. Thank God. Please listen. We're running out of time. The arraignment is next week. Zachary's lawyer needs a statement. Just character witness. That's all. Her tactics had shifted from outright lie to a smaller, more reasonable ask. Trying to pull me back in. Stop calling me. We made a mistake asking for more. We were panicked, but this is reasonable. Please. I hung up and blocked the number. Then I called the criminal defense attorney whose number I'd found the night before. He called back within 2 hours. We met that evening. I laid out everything: the initial demand, the relentless pressure, the wellness check, my father's call to my work. He took notes in a leather-bound notebook. When I finished, he leaned back. They're building up to something. This isn't random harassment. They're trying to wear you down so you'll accept a compromised position. First, they ask for everything. You refuse. Then they ask for something smaller that seems reasonable by comparison, but it all serves the same purpose. What do I do? Next time they contact you, record it. Get them on record stating explicitly what they want. Right now, it's all vague. Make them spell it out. He charged $350 an hour. Worth every cent. 2 days later, my father called from yet another new number. I almost didn't answer, but my attorney's advice echoed in my mind. We need to talk face to face, my dad said. No more phone calls. No more games. Just sit down and discuss this like adults. I have nothing to discuss. Zachary's arraignment is Monday. The lawyer needs to finalize his defense strategy. You showing up and refusing to even hear us out isn't helping anyone. One meeting. That's all I'm asking. Fine. When? Tomorrow. 6 p.m. Our house. I showed up at 5:58 p.m., my phone in my jacket pocket, voice recorder app running. I'd checked the law, one-party consent. Completely legal. They would never know. Jillian was there this time, seated beside my mother on the couch. Zachary stood by the window, tapping his phone against his thigh. My father sat in his recliner, a folder of papers on the coffee table. My father began immediately. Zachary's lawyer says the case hinges on credibility. It's he said, she said. No physical evidence, no witnesses, just 2 competing narratives. The prosecutor is moving forward because this woman seems credible and Zachary has no one backing up his version. I remained silent, letting him talk. We're not asking you to lie anymore. We were wrong. We crossed a line. But there are other ways you can help. Character testimony, Jillian murmured, her voice quiet. The kids keep asking me what's wrong. I don't know what to tell them. I looked at her. Tell them the truth. That their father assaulted someone. Her face crumpled. My father held up a hand. Zachary's lawyer has been reviewing options. There are ways to create reasonable doubt without anyone lying. Character testimony about Zachary's work ethic, his family values. I leaned back, crossing my arms. Walk me through exactly what you're asking. My father seemed relieved I was engaging. Just testimony about Zachary's character, that he's not the kind of person who would. What specifically would I say? My mother jumped in. That you know your brother, that he respects women, that this doesn't sound like him. I nodded slowly. And what about the incident itself? The night it happened? My father's expression shifted, more eager now. The lawyer thinks it would help if someone could provide context about that evening. Maybe that you talked to Zachary that night, that he mentioned working late with a colleague, that he seemed normal, not agitated or guilty. Did I talk to Zachary that night? A pause. You could have, my mother said, her voice rising, but you didn't. But you could testify that you did. Who would know? It's just a phone call. There it was. Getting closer. I reached for the folder on the coffee table. My father didn't stop me. Inside were draft statements, a witness statement template with my name at the top, blank spaces for dates and details, a signature line at the bottom. The narrative itself was pure Zachary, his office layout, his working relationship with Riley, his version of what happened that night, all in the first person. What's this? My mother's voice was barely a whisper. Just options. Different ways you could help. I read through it. This is written like I'm him. How would I know any of this? My father leaned forward. You're his identical twin. You've been to his office. The statement just formalizes what you'd naturally observe. Except I wasn't there that night. It provides reasonable doubt, my dad said carefully. Makes the jury think maybe things weren't as clear-cut as this woman claims. I set the paper down. You want me to sign a statement describing events I didn't witness to make it seem like I have direct knowledge of what happened? My dad's jaw tightened. We want you to help your brother by telling police I was at his office that night. My mom grabbed my hand across the table, her grip desperate. Please, we're running out of options. The lawyer says without someone to back up Zachary's version, the jury will side with this woman. We just need you to say you were there, that you saw them together, that it looked consensual. I said nothing, watching the timer climb on my phone's screen, 38 minutes, 39. My dad stood up. You're his twin. You're the only one who can do this. Sign the statement. Tell the lawyer you were at the office building that night, that you saw Zachary and Riley together in the parking lot or through a window, that they seemed friendly. That's all we need. Zachary finally stopped tapping his phone and looked at me directly. I didn't assault anyone, and if you were there, if you saw us, you'd know that. So, really, you'd just be confirming the truth. Except I wasn't there, so I'd be lying. My father's voice hardened. We're asking you to sign a statement saying you were at Zachary's office building the night of the incident. That you observed him and Riley together, that their interaction appeared consensual. That's what we need from you. I stood up. I'm not signing anything. I'm not lying to police. I'm not committing perjury for Zachary. My mother grabbed my arm tighter this time, her nails digging in. Then you're choosing to destroy this family. Zachary's kids will grow up without a father because you won't help. I pulled my arm away. Zachary's kids will grow up without a father because he assaulted someone. My father stepped closer. You walk out that door. You're not welcome back ever. I headed for the exit, stopping at the door. You should know that folder you prepared with the fake statement, with my name on it? If anything with my signature shows up anywhere, I'm filing charges for fraud and forgery. My mother's voice cracked. We'll make your life miserable. You already tried. Then I left. The recording was backed up to cloud storage before I even reached my car. Every word, every request, every admission that they wanted me to lie about being present at a crime scene, all documented. I drove straight home, opened my laptop, and created a folder titled Zachary Case Evidence. A spreadsheet began to fill with dates, times, callers, durations, content. Every call logged, every text message screenshotted with metadata. The recording from tonight's meeting saved in 4 locations, 2 cloud services, an external hard drive, an encrypted USB in my desk drawer. Redundancy, I'd learned in engineering, prevented disaster. I called my attorney, leaving a message, then emailed him the recording. He called back within 30 minutes. That recording is gold. Your father explicitly asked you to sign a false statement. Your mother admitted they prepared documents without your consent. This is conspiracy to obstruct justice. I'm drafting a cease and desist letter tonight. Over the next 5 days, they called 32 times. I didn't answer once. Every call, every voicemail, every text went straight to my attorney. He compiled it all into a legal file. Formal cease and desist letters were sent to my parents, Zachary, and Jillian. Communication stops immediately or we pursue harassment charges. They didn't stop. 3 weeks after I refused to take the fall, my attorney called me at work. They're trying to do it anyway. Zachary's attorney started pushing a mistaken identity narrative in their filings. They're arguing Riley confused the two of you. That she thinks it was Zachary, but it was actually you. A cold dread washed over me. They were framing me without my consent. Yes. And it gets worse. The detective handling Riley's case wants to talk to you. He assured me we would cooperate fully, but only with him present, everything on record. The meeting was 2 days later. The detective, mid-40s, looked tired. Zachary's defense filings were spread across the table. Your brother's attorney is claiming mistaken identity. Can you verify your location that evening? I pulled out my phone, opening my location history. I was at home. My phone was connected to my home Wi-Fi from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. My building has security cameras in the garage and lobby. My car never left. I can provide my work badge log showing I left the office at 5:30 p.m. that day. The detective made notes. Your brother's attorney suggested you might have borrowed a car. I didn't. I was home alone. I have proof. I forwarded everything, phone data, requests for building footage, work access logs. My attorney leaned forward. My client's family attempted to coerce him into making a false confession. We have recorded conversations documenting this attempt. We have text messages. We have timestamps. The document they submitted with my client's name is fabricated without his knowledge or consent. If they continue to involve my client's name in their defense strategy, we'll pursue criminal charges for conspiracy to obstruct justice, defamation, and witness tampering. The detective looked at the defense filings, then at me. You're not a suspect. Your brother's attorney is trying to create alternative narratives because his case is falling apart. The mistaken identity angle is desperate. They know this won't hold up, but they're trying to create confusion for potential jury members. I nodded. What happens now? We proceed with the case against your brother. His statement goes in the trash. If he tries this again, we'll add obstruction charges. That was in December. The trial wouldn't begin for another 13 months. The day after the detective cleared me, I called my attorney. I had information, I told him, that could help Riley's case. Evidence about Zachary's past behavior. The financial trail showing my parents had protected Zachary before. Don't contact her directly, my attorney warned immediately. That's witness tampering territory, even with good intentions. Zachary's attorney will use it against you both. Let me reach out to her counsel. Smart move. My attorney contacted Riley's attorney the next day, explaining what we had: recordings of my family's coercion, documentation of the pressure campaign, evidence of fabricated statements, information about past incidents. Riley's attorney called back within hours. Riley wanted to meet, through proper channels. My attorney set it up for the following week. We met at my attorney's office. Riley's attorney was there, mine too. Everything documented. Riley was younger than I expected, a junior accountant, probably fresh out of college when she started at Zachary's company. She had that hollow look of someone fighting something bigger than themselves, running on empty. Her attorney spoke first, detailing the harassment Riley had endured, phone calls to her workplace, settlement offers with NDAs, threats of public humiliation. My attorney slid the documentation across the table, the recordings, the fake statements with my name, the timeline of harassment. This shows a pattern. The family's coordinating to obstruct justice. The prosecutor needs this. Riley's attorney reviewed everything, taking notes. Then Riley spoke, her voice quiet but steady. They offered me $75,000 to disappear. Said if I refused, they'd destroy my career. Her eyes, though tired, held a spark of defiance. Someone called my boss asking about my performance reviews, like they were building a file on me. I leaned forward. They tried the same approach with me. When I refused, they fabricated evidence with my name on it. Her eyes welled with tears. You'd really do this against your own family? They stopped being my family when they asked me to become a criminal to protect a predator. My attorney forwarded everything to the prosecutor that afternoon. Riley's attorney received copies. The case dragged on for over a year, motions, depositions, continuances. Zachary's attorney tried every delay tactic, hoping Riley would give up or the evidence would weaken. She didn't. Riley's case was solid. She'd emailed herself a detailed account within an hour of the assault, timestamped 9:47 p.m. Her attorney subpoenaed Zachary's phone, and a forensic data recovery service pulled text messages Zachary thought he'd permanently erased. 17 messages he'd sent her that night, escalating from "I'm sorry if I misread things" to "if you tell anyone about this, you'll regret it." The company's HR files showed 3 other complaints about Zachary over 5 years, women reporting inappropriate comments, unwanted touching, boundary violations, all documented, but never acted on because Zachary was a top performer. Testimony from others helped establish a pattern. The jury took 4 hours to convict him of sexual assault and unlawful restraint. Zachary received 3 years in state prison, plus probation, registration, mandatory counseling. Jillian had filed for divorce halfway through the trial, moving the kids to her parents' place in another state. My parents appeared at my workplace after the sentencing. They caused a scene in the parking lot. Security escorted them out while my mother screamed that I'd destroyed the family, that Zachary's kids would grow up fatherless because of me. I watched them being removed without a word. After the sentencing, my parents sent one long, bitter email, echoing the screams about destroying the family, about fatherless children. I replied with one sentence: I didn't destroy this family. You did when you asked me to take the fall for a crime I didn't commit. Then I blocked them. 6 months passed. My parents were 3 months behind on their second mortgage. With Zachary in prison, they were struggling. My father, out of retirement, took a part-time job at a hardware store. My mother picked up retail shifts. Both in their late 60s, working to stay afloat. I could have helped. I had the money. But I made a different choice. I reached out to a financial attorney, explaining the situation. The bank holding their mortgage was preparing foreclosure proceedings. My attorney worked with a mortgage broker. Banks sell distressed mortgages to private investors all the time. The process is straightforward if you know the right people. My attorney knew them. Here's how it worked. Their original $200,000 second mortgage had been paid down some, leaving an outstanding balance of about $185,000. The first mortgage had been paid off years earlier, making this their primary remaining debt. After they fell behind, the bank wanted to offload the non-performing debt. I bought the note for $140,000, about 75 cents on the dollar. The bank was happy to get something rather than deal with a lengthy foreclosure. Once the transfer was complete, I now held a debt worth $185,000 that I'd only paid $140,000 for. The process took 6 weeks, everything legal, everything documented, everything through proper channels. Once the transfer was complete, my attorney sent them a certified letter. The debt had been sold. They now owed payments to a different entity. Make payments on time every month, or foreclosure proceedings would begin. The letter didn't mention my name, not once. Just standard business language, account numbers, payment instructions. My father figured it out within an hour. He called. I didn't answer. Straight to voicemail. His message was predictable, yelling about how I was kicking them while they were down. How could I do this? What kind of person had I become? He called me vindictive, cruel, heartless. I deleted it without finishing. He called my attorney's office. My attorney informed him it was a standard financial transaction. If they had concerns about their ability to make payments, they should contact the mortgage servicer directly. Any further contact with me would result in harassment charges. My mother tried letters, tearful handwriting about my cruelty, how she'd raised me better, how family was supposed to forgive. She sent cards with photos of Zachary's kids, handwritten notes about how they missed their dad. I sent everything back unopened. They kept making the payments, barely, but they managed. Every month, like clockwork, the payment would hit the account. I never acknowledged it. Just watched the money come in. Watched them scrape together enough to avoid default. My father, 40 hours a week at the hardware store. My mother, weekend shifts at a discount store. Two people in their late 60s, grinding through retail because their golden child couldn't keep his hands to himself. And they'd bet their entire future on him staying free. 10 months after Zachary's sentencing, they'd fallen even further behind despite their efforts. Late fees had accumulated, bringing the total balance to $187,000. Foreclosure was in motion. The auction date set for December 15th, less than 30 days away. My attorney got a call from theirs. They wanted to meet, discuss resolution options. No, I said. They're asking for a meeting to negotiate. You don't have to agree, but legally they're allowed to try. Fine. Your office. Cameras recording. You present. The meeting was scheduled for the following Tuesday at 2 p.m. They showed up 15 minutes early. My attorney's receptionist texted me. I made them wait until 2:05 p.m. When I walked into the conference room, my parents were sitting across the table. My father looked smaller than I remembered. My mother's hands shook. Their attorney was young, probably fresh out of law school, in a cheap suit that didn't quite fit. Nervous energy radiated from him. I sat down, offered no greeting, made no eye contact. I simply opened my laptop and pulled up the mortgage account. Their attorney started, "We're here to discuss a potential resolution regarding the mortgage debt. My clients are requesting a modification of payment terms due to financial hardship." My attorney slid a folder across the table. The account is significantly delinquent. Current balance with accumulated late fees is $187,000. The auction is December 15th, 26 days from now. My dad cleared his throat. We just need more time. A payment plan we can manage. I looked at him for the first time. You've had time. My mom's voice cracked. We're doing the best we can. We just need a little flexibility. I didn't respond. Their attorney tried again. Perhaps a reduced payment plan. My clients are willing to commit to consistent payments if terms are adjusted. My attorney looked at me. I shook my head once. My client is not interested in modifying terms. If the full delinquent balance is paid by December 10th, foreclosure stops. Otherwise, the auction proceeds. My dad's face hardened. This is because of Zachary. You're punishing us for trying to protect our son. I leaned forward. You're being foreclosed on because you defaulted on your mortgage. That's how mortgages work. My dad's composure finally cracked. You're doing this because you're alone. Because you've got nothing. So, you want everyone else to have nothing, too? I closed my laptop, looked at my attorney. Are we done? My mom started crying. Real tears this time. Please, we're sorry about everything. We made mistakes. We were scared and desperate. But we're your parents. This house is all we have left. Are we done? I repeated. Wait, their attorney interjected. My clients prepared an apology statement. They're willing to sign it, have it notarized, admitting they were wrong. No. My mom reached across the table. I pulled my hands back. My dad tried one last angle, his voice flat. Zachary gets out in about 2 years. Once he's working again, we can pay you back. Structured payment plan, whatever amount you want. I stood up. The foreclosure stands. You have until December 10th to pay $187,000. Otherwise, you're out. My mom's voice cracked. We have nowhere else to go. We'll lose everything. I stopped, turned around, and looked at her directly. He has dependents. You don't remember? Then I left. December 10th came and went. No payment. December 15th, the house went to auction. Sold for $165,000. My $140,000 investment came back whole. My parents had 60 days to vacate. They moved into a one-bedroom rental across town. Both kept working retail. Zachary wrote me letters from prison. Long ones, about being sorry, about mistakes, about trying to be better, about finding religion. I threw them away without reading them, watching them shred at work. Jillian reached out through a mutual friend a few months later, wanting to apologize for begging me to take the fall. She'd been scared and desperate. I didn't respond. The kids were doing okay, from what I heard. Jillian got a job in her hometown, moved in with her parents. The kids were in public school, seeing counselors. She'd started dating someone new, moving on. My parents became outcasts. Everyone knew what Zachary had done. Everyone knew they'd tried to cover it up. Friends stopped calling. Neighbors avoided them. No more church functions or events. I saw my mom at the grocery store several months later. She looked worn down, tired in a way that wasn't just physical. She froze when she saw me, just stood there staring. I nodded once, walked past her as if she were a stranger. She didn't follow. Zachary gets out in about 2 years. I've already decided what happens if he contacts me. Nothing. No response, no acknowledgement, no conversation. Recently, his lawyer called, said Zachary wanted to meet when he gets out, talk things through, rebuild our relationship, make amends. I told the lawyer Zachary could do whatever he wanted with his life, but it wouldn't involve me. It wasn't about guts. It was about self-respect. Zachary keeps serving his time. My parents keep working retail. Jillian keeps building her new life, and I keep moving forward. But when does a family truly cease to be?